All right, welcome back. All right, so kind of getting rolling a little bit today on the SU. Had to go back and today I worked on, so I had to put some stops on the gear here, or the gear doors. This one was good, but you know, still going a little further than I needed to. So I just glued in a piece of G10 material here just for the arm to hit and stop. It's pretty much at its full stroke. The problem I ran into was the other door over here. And it's just weird. When it was fully opened, it's kind of hard to see, but the way they designed these arms, it would actually go over center. So when it pulled, it was pulling in on this. It was trying to pull it in, and the door wouldn't close. So if I just push it up just a little bit past, because it was going past center, it would work just fine. So that's what I did. I put a stop over here first, made sure, these close a certain way. So made sure, the biggest thing I had to watch out for was the clearance right here. So I got clearance here, and I went ahead and hooked these back up. Had to adjust the lollipops just a little bit, put some Loctite on them, and then lock them down. Tightened up all these screws at the base that hold the gear into the actual airframe. They were loose. And I also glued in a piece, you can't see it, but there's a wood dowel like right here that goes from this inside of this outer skin to the ducting. This area is real flimsy, and that side was the problem. When I would close the door, you would see it. It would have to push that in, plus the tire would come down and hit there. And it still may, I think it still does this a little bit, and if I put air in it, it probably will. So it comes down, got clearance here, about 10 millimeters, I can't talk, 10 millimeters. And see how it's hitting right there? So I'm just going to take that corner off a little bit. And what was happening is this would hit like right here, and then you would push in and flex. Oh, hold on, get that out of the way. But now, and it still does it just a hair, but that's just because of the flex. That's a better fit. And it's funny how this door will actually open and close. So if they both did this, I could use one valve for them both, but because they hit over there, I have to use two valves. But anyways, so, and like I said, the wood dowel's in there too, but it's just the ducting is so flimsy that it isn't rigid enough to hold it. So, all these are the new Ultra Precision air cylinders. They're glued in. It's all dry now, and these won't leak. I don't know if I did a video on this, but this is attached now. I just marked the center, and the tip of the missile is really close, so it works perfect. And what else? So that's this. This is ready to, now that I got all this done, I'm going to get all the air lines hooked up and ran forward. I got to get the wiring for the elevator and rotor done as well, and then also the flapper on here. So once all that's ran forward, it'll flip over, and then I'll do the fuel install and get the nose on. And that's kind of what I've been working on the latter part of the day while some of this high sol was drying. I went ahead and I switched out the locking mechanisms. They have their air. I'm using 2-linear actuators. They're the PQ, what are they? The PQ, yeah, PQ12s. They're the real tiny ones that Actuonics that I sell. And I don't know how well you can see them, but they're mounted at the rear, and I've taken pictures of it, but essentially I just took the shaft that come off this slider, put a ball end on it, and then used a one of these, where's it at? One of these tips here, and it's hard to see here, but I just cut the center out and kind of put it where the ball end would go in there, and then put a screw through it. So it's kind of like a universal joint. It's got some off angle to it, so it didn't have to be perfectly straight. You can kind of see it there. And the rear is, I glued in a little block on this mount, and what I'll do is I'm going to take a little bit, I might just use some two-sided tape or just use some shoe goop, and that's what I glued that block in for, to give it a place to put some shoe goop between that block and this front part, just as a little secure, because really all this is doing is, it's almost a waste, because you're only moving like 5 millimeters. It's ridiculous. So I'll show you kind of here. But yeah, I mean, you're only moving like that much. I don't know if you can kind of see in there. No, you can't. Well, yeah, like this this little gap here. So what it's doing is it's pushing that slider over the front of this little lock here. It's like a little hook, and that slider just, it actually only probably goes right to about right there, and yeah, and then that's locked, and then full open. So and that's it. And let me move. And then the other thing I did was I swapped out the, let me flip that off. I swapped out the, let me unplug it here. I swapped out the air cylinder. Well, I didn't even have the air cylinder installed, but I put a linear actuator on the canopy open and close. That's just the locks. So the stock is this guy right here. It is 100 millimeters of travel, and the Actuonics has a 100 millimeter. I use the 500 ratio, which is fast but low torque. Don't really need any torque for this canopy. It shouldn't have any problem lifting it. And what they give you is a ball end here that you basically take this metal piece and you screw it on here. And then you put this ball end on it, and I'm guessing they did that to kind of give you an extension, because when it's set in here, your connection point is way up here, so you had all this distance. So that was what I ran into with my linear actuator, because it was literally 100, and when it's in its full down position, it wasn't anywhere near where you attach the canopy here. See, it's way up here. So it's in here like that. So I was like, well, crap. That wouldn't give me enough throw with it. It would only go about, half of the travel it needed to get it fully opened. I could make it close. So what I did is I took a 140 millimeter. This is an old demo I had. And I just took the shaft out of it. And took the shaft out. This is the 100, and put the 140, which that is the full down position. Let's see here, get it here. So it essentially, in the full down position, it almost attaches to this, which is perfect. So that way, let's see, that's not even full open, so that's full open, and that's going to be way more than I need. I mean, that's like, yeah, that's a huge amount. So I'll only need probably about 70% of the throw, probably right about there. And then full down. See? So if I had the original shaft in there, it would be down here like this. So that was an easy solution. But these popped off. These is what they had, these like one on each side. These little guys here that you just ran a screw through at the base of the air cylinder. So I popped them off, cleaned the glue up, and then I put a piece of ply on each side to kind of stiffen it up, and then ran a 3 millimeter tapered kind of head screw with a lock nut onto an aluminum. These things have a mount with them, and it's perfect. So you can kind of see there. But yeah, so that's all done, and now I can essentially get the nose on. And I did, I think, I don't know if I talked about this already, but I did put a new cylinder in on the nose too. Had to add this block, which is no big deal, and to get full travel, and everything's perfect in there like that. So all this stuff is where your cockpit mounts. I had to re-glue some of this stuff because it was broke and everything. So, but coming along. So yeah, I gotta put a little bit of glue on the front edge of this on both sides, and then that's done. And of course, we'll be good to hook. So I'll do all the timing in the radio. Like, you can put a delay on that, and I'll have to use 2 channels, but although that sequencer I'm using, it may have a feature built into that, but if not, I'll just put a servo delay on the canopy open and close, and when I flip the switch, I mean, it's like 5 millimeters of travel. Those are unlocked, and then the canopy will come open, canopy comes down. I'll do like a 3-way switch. No, that's how I did it, a 3-way switch. So on the full up, you know, it'd be down and locked. I go center position, unlock, all the way down, open. So anyways, all kinds of ways to do that in the transmitter. It just sucks. You have to use up channels to do it, but it's either that or buy some kind of fancy power system that has like a feature like that built in. What in the world? Well, that looks ugly. Yeah, they just slung in some carbon tow down through there, and that shit's, it's not even seated. That stuff's not doing anything. Oh well, nice try. Anyways, yeah, so hopefully this will polish out. Yeah, polish out. This is where the cockpit hit the inside of the canopy here and put scrapes on it, so I'll try to buff that out. But there you go. So anyway, that is about it, and I gotta work in the morning early, so I'm probably gonna call it a night. I might run a few airlines or something, but I don't know. This is kind of a good spot to stop, I guess. I have decided to probably just use the stock air cylinder for the speed brake, and I'll just tie it into the brake system, air system. I've got a 140, you know, because I keep these things in stock. So if I decide to do it, I might give it a go. I think this looks better, but about talked myself out of using the linear actuator, so we'll see. This one might just be an easier do. We'll see. Alrighty, you guys have a good one. Don't forget to, oh, hey, yeah, so, sorry. This had somebody ask me about my best tool in my toolbox, which is the old, I just use it to drill holes, and it's a center, because of the angled tip there, it's an alignment drill too. And there's just something about the way this drill is designed that it just cuts and drills so much easier. Like I have, where's it at? I have this finger drill as well, and it doesn't cut and drill as good as this one does. Like, I've never found anything that I use as much as this and it works as good as that does. And somebody was asking about where I got it from. Well, I it'd been so many years ago that I kind of didn't really remember. I just thought I got it at a hobby shop, or it probably got it from Tower, but look what I found. You can actually buy them. It is a dead center engine mount hole locator. So it's kind of like for the old two-stroke engines and the old engine mounts. It aligns it up and, you know, gives you a perfectly centered hole. I've never really used it for that, but you can get them off eBay, or not eBay, Amazon. And it was, doesn't say how much it was. It was like $10 or $14. Totally worth it though. So I got an extra one. RC Express, New Hampshire. All right, well anyways, you guys have a good one. That's a long kind of 15-minute video of this. And so now everything I need to do in the nose is done, so I can, once all that fuel plumbing is done and tanks are in, I can throw the nose on it. So home stretch, fun time. Cheers.